Hello YouTubers. Well, we're in Wyoming today. We're down on Rock Creek at the remains of the old Rock Creek Dredge. And they dredged Rock Creek from up by Atlantic City, for miles and miles down creek. And we got tailing piles for as far as the eye can see here off into the distance. And we're going to look around this dredge a little bit. And then we're going to find ourselves a place to dig and see if we can find some of the 70% of the gold that this dredge supposedly missed. They weren't too efficient, apparently. Up there, up top, that has the look of a big trommel. Yeah, there's a big round cylinder there. Looks like a big water feed pipe going up to it. So there was a trommel. Okay, so the trommel up there would have separated out the bigger rocks that were dug up. And then here's the sluice box. Everything that made it through the trommel would have gone through the sluice box. This is where the gold would have got caught. They cleaned it out periodically. Okay. Not a lot left to this thing. People have been stripping it for decades. I thought I saw the remains of an engine block in there, big engine. Yeah, there's an engine back over there. It's a windy day in Wyoming. Imagine that, a windy day in Wyoming. And some of this wood is kind of flapping around in the breeze. A little scary to be under. Yeah, that looks like the remains of an engine. Not a very big one. It's like what, 4-cylinder maybe? I mean, it powered the whole thing. Maybe it just powered a pump or something. See if I can get out of here without stepping on any nails. This thing is a good 3 stories tall, I would say. And here's the remains of a pond it dug as it was dredging the creek. Yeah, it's been pretty badly stripped. And what's left is slowly rotting away into the ground. Here's another angle on the old dredge looking across the pond. Yep, not much left of it, but the wife and I are pretty proud that we actually managed to find it following the directions the old rancher gave us. A lot of unmarked 2 tracks to get here, but here we are. Alright, this thing found gold, now it's time for us to go find gold. Well, we found a place to dig. Somebody else has been doing some serious excavating here. And I'm thinking they wouldn't have moved this much gravel if they weren't finding something good down at the bottom of it. So we've been digging and screening in the bottom of this hole too. I'll take it over the creek and pan it out and see if there's anything in it. So that first spot where everybody dug that big pit, we panned out a fair amount of material we dug out of there and didn't find even the first flake. So now we moved on to a different spot. It's actually two different spots. Leslie's got a bucket from one spot she's panning out, and I've got a bucket from another spot that I'm panning out. And we'll see if either spot has any gold in it. Okay, I don't know if it's showing up on video. So far I haven't found any gold, unfortunately. But this pan is just loaded with red garnet crystals. I don't know if they're showing up or not, but they are just all over the place in there. Yeah, I think I see some on the viewfinder. Wow, just loaded with garnets. Be nice to find some gold though, but we're trying. Another pan full of garnets, including a fairly big one over here, but no gold. Too bad these garnets aren't valuable. We got plenty of them. Okay, I sure hope that is showing up. There are two little flakes of gold in this pan. I was afraid we were going to get skunked, so I was about to call it and take us upstream a little bit where we were likely to find some more gold. I dug in a slightly different place from where we were finding all the garnet crystals. And so, first pan, I've got two flakes of gold and a very large, near gem-sized garnet crystal here. So, okay, I think we're going to dig here for a little while longer and see what we can find, since we're actually finding some gold finally. Okay, this is a lot harder work than my urban gold mining. And we're finding gold, but we're not finding as much as with the urban gold mining. But still, we're having fun. So, anyway, this new spot where I dug and I finally found gold. I did a short bucket. I panned out 6 pans. I saw color in 5 of the 6 pans. So I think that's a good spot. So I believe what we're going to do is we're going to find a spot where there's some flowing water, because we're on a pond right here. And we're going to dig and classify a few buckets out of that spot and run them through my sluice box and see what we can find. Well, I had to walk a little ways, but I found sections of the creek where there's a pretty good flow. Wives come in really handy. So she's over here digging in our spot. And I'm over here classifying. We will change out though. Yeah. Washing the rocks. Gold likes to stick to rocks. When we get a couple buckets of this at least, we'll go over to that spot where I saw lots of flow in the creek and run them through the sluice. So we found a spot with a fair amount of flow. I'm hoping I have the sluice box set at the right angle and got the right amount of flow through it. The rocks are kind of bunching up behind the first riffle. I may have to tinker with it some more, but we're going to run a couple buckets of our pay dirt through it, and then we'll do a cleanup and see what we got. And these legs on the sluice, by the way, I shamelessly stole the idea for them from Alan Robertson. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel in the description of this video. So I have 3D printer too. I saw what he was doing and said, oh, I can reverse engineer that in about 10 minutes and print my own. So that's what I did. But don't worry, Alan, I'm not going to go into business competing with you selling them. Had to put a big rock on the sluice box because it was wanting to float downstream on me. The water's shallow here, but the current's pretty strong. Give it a chance to clear out some. Haven't seen any gold in the front mat yet, But most of the gold I was seeing in the pan was pretty fine, so hopefully it's getting caught in the miner's moss. We're sluicing. It's going to take a while to go through these 2 buckets. And we'll do a clean out. And I don't know, maybe we'll take the concentrates home with us or pan them out a little bit here on the creek and see how much gold we got. We'll see. Depends on how late it is. We got a long drive back home. Yeah, a long drive over 2 tracks that we can only go real slow on because they're really bumpy and rocky. Well, we took a little break from sluicing and walked upstream a bit. And look what we found, a beaver dam. I don't see the lodge anywhere. Maybe back around the bend, I don't know. Kind of cool. Welcome to Wyoming. Well, while Leslie was busy feeding -1/4 screen stuff through the sluice, I was kind of laboriously screening some through a much smaller screen. So this is -1/8. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow down the speed on the sluice box, the flow, and we'll feed this stuff through it. And I don't know how much, if any, gold we caught, because getting the sluice flowing enough to move those -1/4 inch rocks through it, there may have been so much flow that the gold was just flying out the back. I don't know. But I could slow the flow down quite a bit and feed this stuff through it, and hopefully any gold in it will be for sure caught. But of course we won't know if we got any gold till we do a cleanup and then pan out the concentrates. Slowly feeding the finer re-screen stuff through with less flow. Hopefully I still don't have too much flow. It's taking a while for the riffles to clear, so I don't think I got too much flow. Anyway, we've decided it's getting quite late, sun's getting low. So after we feed this stuff through and clean out the sluice, we're just going to head for home. And we will pan out the concentrates at home, maybe tomorrow or the next day. And I'll show you what we get when we get it. Okay, we got all the pay dirt through the sluice. I'm just going to let it run and clear the riffles out a little bit, then do a clean out, and then we can head for home before it gets dark. Couldn't really video it while I was doing it, but we did a clean out, cleaned up the sluice. There's our concentrates. That's what we're taking home, and we'll pan it out at home and see how much gold we got. So I'm going to put the sluice back together. We're going to put it all in the truck and get on the road. Well, it's been a couple days. Been working on projects around the ranch, but I finally got a few minutes to deal with these concentrates, which have mostly dried out. And there's still some stuck to the bottom of the bucket. I'll have to make sure I get everything out of the bucket. So I got a tub here full of water and a few drops of Dawn dishwashing detergent in it just to break the surface tension. I would normally use jet dry, but I don't happen to have any out here. So a little Dawn will work just fine, I think. Now, there's going to be a lot of heavy stuff in here. There's going to be black sand, there's going to be garnets. This is not going to be all that easy to pan out. I'm going to do it in a couple of panfuls, not all at once. Just try and do it very slowly and carefully so we don't lose gold. Okay, here we go. Let me get it good and wet here. Lumps and clumps broken up. The rock that made it through the screening somehow. Okay. Get it well stratified. I'm going to do this very slowly. When I was doing my test panning out there, I went through it pretty quick just to see if I could see any gold. But now that I'm doing the concentrates, I'm going much slower. But I'm working in a tub here, so if I lose anything, I can always repan the stuff in the tub. In fact, before I get too far along, I think I'll put this pan down here and sink it. And everything that comes out of this pan will go in that pan. My safety pan over here where stuff's gonna fall straight down into it. And yeah, there's a lot of black sand there. I don't know if that's showing up on the video how dark that is. But you know, that's to be expected with concentrates. You're catching all the heavy stuff that's going through the sluice. Just makes it harder to pan out. There's less of a density difference between the black sand and the gold. Same with the garnets that are in here. They're pretty dense too. Yeah, I'm hoping that the Dawn that I put in here, the jet dry that I normally use, is going to prevent any fine gold from floating away on me. Gold will float. So if it gets any oil or grease on it, it will float in water. I have a pan I really like for doing concentrates, but it's at my place in Florida. I use it for panning out incinerated IC chip remains to get the gold bond wires out. So I don't have my favorite cleanup pan out here. But if I'm careful, I can do okay with this one. Like I said, I'm just going to take my time, be really careful. I may skip forward a little bit so you don't have to watch me get through every bit of this. It's going to take a while. Okay, let me get this gold in my snuffer bottle. There we go. Yep, nothing but red and black sand left in the pan. So, okay. Time for the second pan. And I'm going to do it just like the first one, except one minor difference is we put everything that's loose in the bucket into the pan. And then I'm going to wash out the bucket good into the pan. Because I know how gold is, it's tricky. It's going to want to be the last thing out of the bucket. You know, it's going to want to hang out in there. So, I'll make sure I get every bit of it out of this bucket. Okay, now we can pan. All right, so here we go. Just like the last one, we'll pan this out and see what we got. Hoping for a little more gold than the first time, but we'll take whatever we get. Like I keep saying, at least we weren't skunked. And we know a spot where there is gold. Yeah, we're really getting down to it. I see the gold peeking out now and then. Boy, there's a lot of garnets in this pan, though. You know, the last part out of the bucket's always got the really heavy stuff in it. So there's a lot of garnets here. I hope there's a lot of gold, too. I saw a few pieces peeking out. We'll see. Wash a little bit more off the top. I don't think I've ever dug anywhere where there were so many garnets before. Just crazy, crazy huge amount of garnets. Okay. Try cleaning it up this way now. Oh, that stuff doesn't want to move. There's a big pile of garnet sand there. I'm trying to wash it off the top, and it's just sitting there. There we go. I got to be a little more aggressive with it. Don't want to uncover the gold and get it moving. All right, so there's a bunch of, I don't know, that's probably not showing up at all, but man, look how red that stuff is. It's just blood red. Does not want to leave the pan either. Okay. Water. Classify. Or restratify. Wash some more of it. Cleaning up concentrates is like my least favorite part of gold mining. On the other hand, it's generally the first time you really get a look at the gold your hard work has produced. Up until then, it's pretty much just theoretical. You think you've got gold, but you haven't seen the bulk of it yet. Or I should say, you hope you've got gold. Yeah, we're really down to it now. There's not much left in the pan. Oops. Restratify that. I got the gold moving. It needs to stay in the corner there where it belongs. There's a fair number of pieces in here, but they're pretty fine. Probably a little bigger, I would say, than flour gold, but they're pretty fine. Just separating it from the last little bit of this black and red sand is really, really tough. I suppose what I should have done is rescreened this to a finer mesh before I tried to clean it up. There's an old saying, separation without classification is impossible. Well, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's bloody difficult. So, but yeah, if I had classified this to through a smaller size mesh, this probably would have been a little easier. Okay. I'll give you a look at this, a close-up look. I do hope that it's in something resembling focus. Now, another line of very fine gold. I will suck it up with my snuffer bottle down there. And then what I'll do is I'll dump the contents of the snuffer bottle here into the pan and try and clean up all the gold a little better, and we'll get a look at just how much gold we got in total. Here's all our gold. I don't know how well it's showing up. I can't really see the viewfinder very well in the sun. Not a lot. We're not getting rich, but we had some fun. We didn't get skunked. And I'll tell you what, for, only about 2 buckets of material that were maybe 3/4 full, that's not bad. Gold is valuable because it's exceedingly rare. If we want to get more gold, we just got to move more buckets through the sluice. Maybe get a bigger sluice. Run a lot more material through. At least we know a place to dig where there is gold. And we can prospect around and see if we can find places that are a little richer than this one spot we found. But like I said, we had fun. It's all about having fun. And, my wife had fun. She said that she hasn't done anything so fun in a long time, and that made me feel good. Happy wife, happy life. So, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you found this interesting. If so, give the video a thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe to see my future videos. I've got new videos coming out all the time. I do a lot of urban gold mining, as well as this occasional, out in the woods gold mining. And so subscribe to see those future videos. Press the little bell icon that YouTube makes you press to get notified when new videos come out. And thanks again for watching. Have a good day. Bye.